If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello, welcome to another episode of the No Rest for the Vivid podcast with your host, Claire Hill. I always say that. For those of you who listen every week, I do apologise for having to say that. But, you don't know who's listening. Might be a newbie amongst you. Hello, if you're new. Nice to see you. I've actually noticed that my audience is growing. So for those of you who are sharing the podcast, I am extremely grateful. If you do have a spare minute and you'd like to review it on Apple, I'd really appreciate it. Really, that would mean the world to me. Do I need to do a giveaway for reviews? I think I do. Anyway, that's a good marketing campaign. I was thinking about what to talk about today. And since my last podcast episode where it was just me, that podcast episode, by the way, which is number 60, bear with me, so I look episode 62. Episode 62 about talking about people that influencing your decisions and how big you want to dream to make sure that everyone else is better for it. That was quite a vulnerable episode. If you ever listened to it, my best friend Bex that works with me now, she listened to it. She was like, well, that was quite vulnerable, and I'm really happy it was. I'm really happy that I did it. It's one of those things where I was in the moment. I was exactly where I needed to be, and I needed to talk about it. But that episode set off a vulnerability hangover, which I've spoken about again on this podcast. And it's where you just go a little bit out of your comfort zone, or maybe a lot, and your subconscious wants to like ping you back, and it's quite painful. A vulnerability hangover. You may get, there's a whole episode on them, but you may get them from time to time if you're sort of in the process of, I don't know, say, for example, you do a presentation at work or something like that. It can be really tough. And tough as in the vulnerability hangover. So I wanted to talk today about what I learned from that vulnerability hangover. Number one, it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Really painful. But number two, in my trying to make myself feel better, I listened to a 3.5 hour podcast / YouTube video with Lewis Howes and Jay Shetty. I actually tagged them on Instagram, and Lewis Howes liked my message. So I was buzzing. I was like, oh my god. But I messaged Lewis. No, but Jay Shetty, if you don't know who he is, he used to be a monk. He's a former Hindu monk, and his story of how he got into becoming a monk is really fascinating. But he's just some guy from London, like living his best life as a monk, and just really on a mission to share his wisdom. And the wisdom of basically of being a monk. And I'm really interested in that kind of thing. Anyway, there's one thing that he said in this interview that has really, really resonated with me. And it was about not judging a situation, not giving it a name, not giving it a label. And I am really embodying this. And actually, it's making me feel so much more level-headed. I mean, I'm pretty level-headed going back, a good few years. I have had issues with my mental health, or not issues is such a wrong word. I've had periods of my life where I've not looked after my mental health as well as I should, because I just didn't know how to. And because of my childhood, the impact on my mental health has maybe been more severe than it could have been in different circumstances. And I've struggled to recover as well as I should have. or used drink and, you know, other stuff maybe to try and help me feel better. And you know, feelings are for feelings. I feel that's one of the things that has really, really made me feel so proud in recent years, of the fact that definitely in the last year, how much better I am at going, feelings are for feeling. I'm going to feel this, and I'm not going to cover it up with a glass of wine or a packet of crisps, or I don't know, having an argument. That's one other thing that I used to do. I'm just actually going to feel the feelings. I'm just going to feel angry or feel frustrated. And I'm not going, and this is the new learning that I've done in the last week, I'm not going to label that as anything but the moment. Not a shit moment, a bad moment, or anything like that. It is just a moment. I'm not going to judge it. And it made me feel, it's honestly opened me my thinking up in lots of different ways. And one of those ways is thinking, like, how many times have we felt uncomfortable in our businesses or in life or anything? We're in that situation where we feel really uncomfortable. We feel we're out of our comfort zone maybe, but everything just feels a little bit wonky. And we may not be achieving success, what, you know, society may deem as success. And we straight away feel uncomfortable, therefore we are failing. It's a bad thing. And it's really spun this idea of, actually, what if feeling uncomfortable is amazing? What if it's just feeling uncomfortable? Does it have to be labelled as a good thing or a bad thing? Does it just have to be a moment? I think we're very quick to label the bad stuff. I think in society, when we chat to people, I always get this with people. Sometimes I'm like, especially if I haven't seen people for a long time, how are you? And I'm like, I'm really good, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm all right. And like, I get this, like, if I start first, if I say, oh, how are you doing? Oh, you know, I'm all right. How are you? I reply, I'm really good, thank you. So what do you mean? What's been going on? And I sort of delve deeper and ask some questions and stuff. No one ever asks any questions of when things are going good. I've realised that recently. Like, if I feel bad even laughing, actually, because it's not anyone's fault. It's just the way society is. But the amount of times I've been in a situation where I feel like I've got to create a problem to make the other person feel better because I am having a good time with my life. Why shouldn't it be more socially acceptable to see the good? I mean, the negatives are there. I haven't got a perfect life, by the way. No, everyone, I'm not got a perfect life at all. None, not at all. I don't want it to be perfect either, by the way. I don't want it to be perfect. Where's the challenge in a perfect life? Boring. Give me a little bit of challenge every day. Like a tantrum 4-year-old. But you know, and again, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to have a child. I'm grateful that I only have one, though I do want more. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. No moaning here, guys. No moaning. Just the fact, not labelling the situation. But actually, when I heard about this, about labelling the situation, I did a live in the Vivid Club membership, because I was like, I listened to this podcast about not labelling or judging a situation. And my wonderful son gave me the opportunity of using this practice when he decided to have the biggest meltdowns of all time because he wouldn't clean his teeth. And it was a horrific morning. Oh, I've just judged it. It was a morning. And then I just spun it and just thought, well, maybe that morning is the best thing that's ever happened to mine and Jackson's relationship, because he can see that I'm not going to budge. We've got our boundaries in place. And because I really did put those boundaries in place. I did not budge at all. Bloody hell, took a lot of willpower, a lot of energy. And I was steadfast in my commitment to making sure he's the best human being ever. Maybe it's the best thing ever for us. And actually, since that, it was just under a week ago. Since that, every time I say do as you're told, he does it. I've probably jinxed it now, haven't I? But yeah, just accepting. Anyway, going around to business and life, just considering that a moment is just a moment. Like, not a shit day, not a bad day, not all those other negatives, just a day. How was your day at work? I was productive, and there were a few challenges. I felt a little frustrated, but I also felt like I had achieved. That's not there's no judgment in that day, is there? Not, it's been tough. It's been a shit day. It's been a good day. Actually, just having a blanket descriptive words that don't have a tone. And the reason why I think if we get into practice with this, we'll be able to use it for uncomfortable moments. Because I was talking with my one-to-one client yesterday, and she's had a bit of a dip, and I just said, but look at everything that's going on. You're just seeing the bad. You're judging this as a bad situation because you push yourself out of your comfort zone, which was excellent. You brought in new business, which was excellent. And you, and because of that, you've had a vulnerability hangover, which is excellent. Isn't a vulnerability hangover showing you that you're growing in the right direction? She's like, yeah. I said, well, let's see, don't judge the situation. Feeling uncomfortable is just it. It's like a boring, normal thing in business. It just shows you they're walking in the right way. I'm trying to think of a metaphor that I can use, like I don't know, something like, oh, maybe this does work actually. I'm just going to use this metaphor. So you open the front door. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Could you even judge it? You open your front door. It's just a normal thing. You have to look at feeling uncomfortable as opening a door. You don't know what's on the other side of that door. It could be the best experience of your life. It could be the worst experience of your life. But I'll tell you what's definitely out of that door, a lesson. There's something on the other side of opening that door that is pushing you in the right direction. So feeling uncomfortable is as normal and everyday in business as opening a door. Can you imagine how... Oh, hello. Just knocked over my stool. Can you imagine how much more comfortable you'd feel with being uncomfortable if you just look at feeling uncomfortable as opening a door? Oh, I've got no sales this week. Just open the door though. Where's the lesson? Do I want no sales at the moment? No, I do want some sales. What can I do to do sales? Oh, I haven't shown up enough. Oh, okay, right. Let's get uncomfortable. Bang. So sometimes our uncomfortable feelings are signaling to us that we need to do something else. I've just had a wonderful interview with Ellen, who is works in the birth industry, and she works with placentas and skincare. She's amazing. She's literally on in a couple of weeks on the podcast. And she was saying in the interview that she had a really quiet month in September. And usually she had really busy months in September. And her friend Stacey said to her, who also runs a business, said, maybe it's the universe saying that you need a quiet month to settle your daughter into school. So her daughter just started school. Now, you're not labelling the situation. It is a quiet month. By not judging whether that's a bad thing or a good thing, you're just like, it's a quiet month. Keep consistent. Just accepting it. You're going to feel uncomfortable if you've got a quiet month. There's no debating that. But maybe that's where you need to think, I do feel uncomfortable having a quiet month. Maybe it's the best, it's just a quiet month. But potentially I could feel a little less uncomfortable next time it happens if I implement some kind of recurring revenue into my business. I don't know how you do it with placentas, but I'm sure there is a way. But that kind of like, if something's making you feel uncomfortable and it's all the time, it's a signal to either fill a gap or you're moving it in the right direction. But it's about it. I feel like this point I'm trying to make, I'm making it really, really badly. But I just feel like there needs to be more emphasis on the fact that feeling uncomfortable in your business, in your day, is not a bad thing. It's just the way it goes. It's like your tax return, like opening your door. It's literally like your tax return in a way, I suppose. Or it's like it's like answering emails. No, that's still something that could be good or bad. Feeling uncomfortable, something that is just neither good nor bad. Maybe it's just literally like open the door, sitting on a chair. It is normal. There should be no drama associated with feeling uncomfortable. It's just like swallowing. Right, I've gone off on one somewhere down some desert track. But I just want to say, I feel like this has made more sense in my head of how I feel about my business. And maybe you're listening to this thinking, Claire, you are talking bonkers. I'm actually, in fact, not talking bonkers. I am talking fact because it's made me feel so much more at peace. And with that, actually, just saying to myself, I'm exactly where I need to be. If I'm supposed to be sitting here crying my eyes out in the corner of the room because I feel so uncomfortable, I can't even move, I'm exactly where I need to be. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a moment. It's just exactly where I need to be. If I feel so uncomfortable, it causes a vulnerability hangover for 3 days. And I was slow to notice it. I don't know why. I think because I was a bit poorly, I thought it was to do with that. But if I am supposed to have that vulnerability hangover, I'm exactly where I need to be. And I feel like that is so true, because if I hadn't been feeling like that, I wouldn't have I hadn't recorded. I did lots of lives in the Vivid Club membership last week about this. I wouldn't have listened to that 3.5-hour podcast. Like, I didn't do it all in one go, but that nourished me because I was exactly where I needed to be in my zone of thinking for that to go in the right way. Maybe this episode is not exactly where you need to be right now. So if you're listening to this and you're like, what the fucking hell is she going on? Sorry for swearing. Not sorry. What the hell is she going on about? I am like, I've no idea. I'm just trying to keep it together. Then you're not exactly where this podcast is not for you. If you feel like that, it's not what you need right now. Forward it right now. Go and listen to something else. Go and listen to something else that you will find something that you need to hear. But if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a trick now. Are you listening? Are you listening to me? Can you hear my voice? I'm only doing that because if you've just zoned out and you weren't really listening to me, hopefully you've just started listening to me again. It means that you're resisting what I'm saying and actually you should be listening to it. I can't remember where I learned that from, but your brain zones out on the things that you should be listening to. Sometimes I have to listen to things 4 times. So rewind, be prepared. You might zone out again and again until you actually sit down and really concentrate. Don't do anything else. Right now, if you're zoning out, stop and listen carefully. Go rewind to what I was just saying and then listen carefully. But you are exactly where you need to be. If you're listening to this and you're like, that makes sense, you're fighting these uncomfortable feelings, why don't you just hold hands with the uncomfortable feelings and strut down the road going, I'm exactly where I need to be. Hello, uncomfy. Do you know, uncomfortable is not really a word, is it? It was discomfort. No, uncomfortable is a word. Uncomfort is not a word. It's discomfort. Anyway, by the by. Hi, uncomfortable feelings. Are you for me? Are you here for me? Brilliant. I'm grateful for you. Grateful for you right there. I am. Right, let's hold hands. Let's strut down the street because we're heading in the right direction. Yes, we are. insert uncomfortable voice in that little skit. But I just really embody this. I just really feel like, you know, when I've got clients coming to me going, oh, I'm in such a negative headspace. No, you're not. You're just having a bit of a vulnerability hangover, or you're a little bit low on energy. Do you need to do something for your energy? Do you need to find another way to like stop the gap that situation so you feel a little bit better? Is the uncomfortable feeling actually signaling to you to like, this could be the best time of your life ever? This could be the best moment. Just sit and listen to it. And it's getting to know yourself. Again, Jay Shetty says this. When was the last time you just sat down with yourself and just listened? Just listening to yourself. And again, I was talking to one, I was just worrying about how many times I've gone. And again, one of my one-to-one clients, I've had some amazing people sign up to my one-to-one because of my Black Friday offer. And the reason I did this Black Friday offer was because I sat down and listened to myself. And I just asked myself, like, what do you really, really want to offer? And I was like, I want to offer more one-to-one support. I love one-to-one support. I love it. I love doing Project Warrior Boss. Oh my God, I love doing Project Warrior Boss. I love my membership. Oh my God, I love my membership. And I love my one-to-one. And though I had 2 clients, and I love them both very much in a professional way, obviously. I was like, right, I need some more. I want some more one-to-one clients. What I want to offer is more one-to-one support. I love getting really focused on somebody's like their whole life, really, their life, their business, their mindset, their money attitude, their planning skills, their habits. Like I get in and I'm like, right, what are you doing at this time of the day? Where do you go with this? And I just pick it all up and take all the strands out of somebody's head and just make this wonderful plan with them. And I am obsessed with doing that. I'm like, why have I not got more of that in my life? Because it makes me feel so alive. Right, let's get it in. Did a Black Friday offer. Cheapest my coaching is ever going to be, my support. And it's probably the cheapest support that, you know, you can get out there. And I did have this imposter in my head going, oh, you know, other coaches will be looking at you thinking, oh, you're underselling. I'm not underselling, actually. I'm earning exactly what I want to earn. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy. But what I want to do is help people. And I'm really, really, like, I'm not underselling my services at all. I've sort of mixed about the program, so I'm still getting paid basically sort of the same, but it's just a brilliant way to access one-to-one support. And some people who need it the most can't afford the thousands of pounds. So why am I offering thousands of pounds? I can do it cheap. Anyway, that's one of my 2023 things is I'm looking at my pricing for next year. But anyway, I digress. My one-to-one, do you know what? I've forgotten my point. Poo bum, because I went off on coaching. That's it. So I was saying to her about her work. And I was like, you need to just sit and listen and just keep asking yourself, what do I really want to offer? And when I talk about my one-to-one coaching, the Vivid Club membership, Project Warrior Boss, and my wire art, there's one part of Vivid Wire that's not singing as loudly or to the same tune as everything else. And that's how I read my body. And I know that sounds a little bit hippie-ish, but it's true. That's what I do. So I can feel, if I think about the work I do, I can feel my gut, like my gut feeling. And I can feel like in my heart, I can feel these amazing positive feelings. I don't know if anyone else can like knows what I'm talking about with that. Tell me, because I don't know whether it's because I've just been writing for so long and I do some meditation and I do my warrior energy and I just have this, I create those moments for myself, but I can really hear what my body tells me. And but I've always been quite in tune with my gut feeling. I'm one of those people that will meet someone and just be like, you know, when people sort of see auras, I can't see auras, but I'll be like, yeah, you're not for me. No, thanks. Like I can feel in my body when I meet somebody if I'm going to love them or not. And actually, my best friend Bex, with all my friends, actually, with all of my best friends, the moment I met them, I was like, I love you, literally, and that was it. Some of the longest friendships I have are with people that the next day I knew I was going to be friends with them for life. So funny, actually, thinking about that. Actually, to be fair, all of my friends, I can remember, if you're one of my friends, I can remember the moment I met you, all of you, all of you, all of my greatest friends. I remember the moments that I met them. So my body was going, hell yeah, these people are going to be in your life for donkey's years. Love you all so much. Anyway, so, but going back to it, I can feel, so when I talk about my one-to-one support, I can feel in my body that I love, like I can feel that it feels really good. And I listen to my body for that. And that, like I said, there's one part of Vivid Wire that doesn't sing as loud, like to the same tune. It's probably that bit. It doesn't sing to the same tune as everything else. So I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it next year. And I feel really good about that. I'm just like, well, I tried it and it didn't feel good to me. It's making me money. Let me just say this, by the way. I won't say what bit of it is, but it's making me money. I actually enjoy most of the process, but that it just doesn't sing to the same tune as everything else in the businesses. So I can feel that the energy that I'm investing in that part of the business is could be used elsewhere. And I feel really confident in listening to my body for that. It's the same as like, do you know what? Like when you're a mum, if you're a mum, or if you're a fur mum even, you can just listen to your gut to what your baby or your fur baby needs. It's that kind of thing. Like I can hear what the business needs. I'm just in tune with it. And I just listen really well to that. But I was saying this to my client. I was like, you just got to learn to listen to, and she actually was suggesting going back to something else that she used to do. And then she was like, do you know what? It doesn't feel good. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it because you're scared of not getting the sales in, because that's just a waste of energy. Don't do it. It doesn't feel good. Don't do it. The end. She was like, yeah, okay. All right, cool. And and she felt really good about that. But it's about recognizing all of that and going, this feels so uncomfortable, but my gut, my heart, they're still singing. It's just part of the process. It is just the way it goes. I'm just going to grab hands with the uncomfortable feeling. I'm going to strut down that road because I believe, and I'm going to take some words like that Mel Robbins said, as you all know, I bloody love that woman, that I refuse to believe that with the fact that I have got a good mission for transforming warriors into warriors, I believe that I can really help people. I believe that my energy in doing that and my passion for helping people, like I wake up and I want to help people. It's not me being a martyr or a nun, I'm not Mother Teresa. Hell no, I'm not Mother Teresa. I just love helping people. I love showing people there's a better way and to help them think better about themselves, to be the best versions of themselves, to be their future best friends. I love that. And I believe, and I refuse to believe, that there will be no other way that this won't work out. Did that make sense? That was too many negatives. I believe that if I work hard, I take care of myself, I love my family and I'm my best version of myself as much as I can. I'm not perfect. So sometimes, I'm not my best who I want to be, but I strive to always be the best version of myself for those that love me and that I love them. I refuse to believe it won't work out. I refuse to believe that I will not make as many people as possible transform from warriors to warriors. I refuse to believe that I need to go back to my old life of teaching, because that's the easy way. Going back to teaching is a really fucking, again, sorry for swearing, but no, I'm going to swear. Going back to teaching is a really fucking easy way for me to go, because my gut is like, teaching is one of the best jobs I've ever done. It really is. Nurturing and inspiring young people, doing maths all day. I loved it. Working with teachers, working in a leadership team. I had so many laughs. I met so many amazing people being a teacher. I loved the stationery. I loved being a teacher. I'm not talking about it as in don't go into teaching. It's the worst profession. It isn't. It's hard work. There's no getting away with that. But it is hard work. But oh my goodness, my gut and my whole body were telling me I was so unhappy. It wasn't the job. It was because I was in the wrong fit. I was trying to push a round peg into a square hole, and I was never going to fit. And it was never, ever going to feel as good as it does now. And now, look what I'm doing. And I can go and support teachers to be the best versions of themselves in this way. So then they can go and support children to be the best versions of themselves. You can't say that my message can ever be lost on anybody if they're exactly where they need to be in the right place to hear it, because you can transform lives. It's like a big cascade of enthusiasm and passion, all being the best versions of ourselves, and then the world becomes a better place. It's inevitable. So I refuse to believe it won't work out. And I hope that if you're listening to this, refuse to believe it won't work out too. You are a good person. You want to listen to this exactly when you need to. And you should embrace the uncomfortable feelings, embrace that discomfort, and just go, do you know what? I'm not going to judge it. This is exactly where I need to be. I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to ride the wave. I'm going to hold on for dear life, hold my nerve, and I'm just going to trust the process because I'm exactly where I need to be. And bloody hell, just by going, it's literally surrendering, isn't it? I know the Money Mavens who were on the podcast last week. They've recently done an episode about this. It's just going, I don't need to worry. I don't need to fight it. I don't need to think about fighting all sales, marketing, Instagram. Do you know what? If I want to show up on Instagram, I'll bloody show up on Instagram. If I don't, I don't. I've got a strategy. This is the thing. If you've got a strategy and you feel good, like when I show up, I know I make a good message, but the right people are listening. The right people are there. I'm there holding that space with, that sounded a little bit, not me, holding that space. I'm showing up with my energy, and the right people, the exact right people are there listening at the exact right time they need to hear. There is no point. I bloody hate it when people chase cold messaging and chase you around. Like I invited quite a few people actually, into the Vivid Club membership when we had the invite only. And I did that because I wanted to help them, and I felt that the Vivid Club could make their life better. That's what I believe. I believe the Vivid Club does make your life better. And some people just ignored the message, which I actually thought was a bit disrespectful. But do you know what? I need to not judge it. There's me being judgy there. I need to not judge it because they're obviously not in the right space, right headspace, and they're not where they need to be to reply to that. And I shouldn't hold it against them. So if you're listening and you're one of those people, I do apologise for judging your lack of response. I am human, but I am trying to be a better human. But I was messaging people and I felt really bad. I think, I'm chasing them to make a sale. I wasn't. I was just like, what's the intention? The intention is that this is invite only. They may not have seen the posts. I want to message them and just let them know, like, no offense if you don't want to join. Don't worry about it. Just, and I had so many people go, it's not the right time for me. I haven't got the money. I just have got too much going on. And I was like, fair enough. Great. No worries. You do you. I'm not going to hold it against you. You are going to be welcome back when we, open again. No worries at all. But I sometimes have just literally random people that I've never interacted with asking me to buy stuff. I'm like, what's my bloody name? You don't even know my name. Oh, you've used Claire. And then they use some kind of cold calling caption from my last post. Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. Anyway, again, not judging it. Obviously, I'm exactly where I need to be, and I need to see that message for some other reason. So I'm going to summarize. I've just gone well off on one. I hope this is giving you a little bit of energy though. But I just want you to remember that you are exactly where you need to be. Whether that feels uncomfortable or comfortable, it doesn't matter. Don't judge it. You're just exactly where you need to be. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. And I'm going to say this at the end and the beginning of every episode, because the more people that share these podcasts, the more people it can help. Like, I had a message like last 2 weeks ago when that the episode came out, the really vulnerable one. I was so nervous about publishing that episode, like so nervous. I listened to it back, which I never ever do. And because I just feel a bit stupid listening to myself, but I was like, oh, I better check that I haven't said something stupid. And so like feeling really, really vulnerable. I listened to it back and I was like, oh, I don't know. Oh God, I've got nothing else though. So I'm going to just have to publish it. Panicked when I woke up, like when I got ready, like they go out at 7:00 UK time. And I panicked thinking, oh no, I'm so sick. Why did I publish that episode? By the time I'd looked and I thought, oh no, maybe I can just delete it and then I'll just re-record one today. 9 people had already listened to it. And I was like, oh, well, too late. And then I got some amazing messages like, thank you so much. I really needed to hear that. And I was like, bloody hell, it's a good job I did publish it. But that it made me feel uncomfortable. But I was exactly where I needed to be, because if I hadn't have recorded that podcast and published it and made myself feel uncomfortable, I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't have made an impact on those people's lives. So I'm very grateful for that. All right, I'm going to crack on with the rest of my day. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll say it again, if you liked it, please subscribe and share, and let me know. Review. You know, share the wealth. Share the wealth of how you feel about the episode. I feel like sometimes I'm like really professional and I'll just go back to, you know, this is me. I'm very authentic. Can't be any different. All right. Anyway, have an amazing day. See you later. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill. And music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.